We are in a very, very auspicious time. Like I said, the time that is called Sefirat Ha'Omer. And there are many ways to explain the word Sefirat Ha'Omer. One of them is, of course, counting, because we count the Omer. Today is the first day, then we count today is the second day, it's third day, and so forth. But to go one step deeper, Sefirat Ha'Omer comes from the word in Hebrew, sapir. Sapir is to enlighten. We spoke about it many times when we learned about the Sefirot, about the 10 emanations, that they're Sefirot, they're called Sefirot, not because we're counting them, because they're vessels to contain godly light. So at the time of Sefirat Ha'Omer is that when we are able to receive this godly light that was shining in a powerful way on the night of Pesach, to be able to start digesting it till the time of Shavuot, so I can receive the light that is going to be shining at the time of Shavuot. Yesterday I explained very briefly that at the night of Pesach shined a light from the Sefira of Bina, or Habina, which allows us to receive this additional Bina, additional wisdom, to be able to go out of my own Mitzrayim. My Mitzrayim is my limitations, whatever limits me. We're all slaves in Mitzrayim. We just read the Haggadah now, and we mentioned in the beginning, Avadim Hayinu Leparo b'Mitzrayim, which I said that already a few times. It's grammatically not correct, because it should have said, Avotenu Hayu Avadim Leparo. Our fathers were slaves to Paro. I wasn't a slave to Paro. That happened 3,400 years ago. I wasn't there. Maybe I was in a different lifetime I was there. The reason why we say Avadim Hayinu, we were, because we're still slaves to Paro. And some people are slaves to little things, some people are slaves to big things, but we're all slaves to many different things. And it's not a word that people like hearing. So in our generation they don't call it slaves, in our generation they call it addictions. So this is another word that people are very sensitive to hear when you tell them you are addicted to something. People get very defensive. So we will sugarcoat the word and we'll call it a state of limitation, something that limits me. If I am not in control of my surrounding and my situation, I am a slave to the situation, and it can be something physical, severe and extreme like drugs and alcohol, gambling and so forth, and it can be something also physical but not so severe, like it can be a cigarette or coffee or chocolate or even some device. Some people are addicted to their phone, people are addicted to Facebook, people are addicted to chocolate. And when you tell a person this, it doesn't sound so nice to the ear to hear that you are addicted to something. But if you can't go with that specific thing, 1 day without it, 2 days without it, a minute without it, I'm sorry to tell you, you are dependent on that thing. And this is called a state of limitation.
A slave.
A slave, yeah. And you want to go out of this state of limitation. This is called a personal redemption, a gula pratit. And at the time of Pesach, on the 15th day of Nisan, the power that allows me to go out of my state of limitation was given to me. We had 2 months of preparation from Tu B'Shvat, from the 15th day of Shvat to the 15th day of Adar, till Purim. We had 1 month of preparing the first step. From the 15th day of Adar till the 15th day of Nisan, from Purim to Pesach, another month of going to the next step. Now on Pesach, assuming that you cleaned your chametz from any type of belongings that you have, and then you burn the chametz, and everything here is mystical, it's not necessarily the physical part, then on the night of Pesach, if you follow the order, now it's already too late because it was yesterday, but hopefully you did follow the order in the Leil Seder, and that's why it's called Leil Seder, then you were able to receive this godly light shining from Sefirat Habina. Very briefly, just to repeat what I said yesterday, is that we refer to Hashem as a Or Ein Sof, as an infinite light. Many times I explained this is not the light that you see from a light bulb. Rather, when the term is used, Or, it means Chokhmah, wisdom. When Hashem wants to give us some of His wisdom, it's called or defined as a light. Or easier to say, an in-light, to Leha'ir. Nevertheless, if it would be given to us in the quantity what Hashem wants to, it would be too greater for us to hold it, and we will not benefit from it. So God uses a system of filters that the light will get filtered from one power to another, one intensity of the light to another, and this is called the 10 emanations, the 10 Sefirot. This is a filter system that the light will go from one Sefira to another Sefira in order to be filtered in the right way, that the capacity of it can be delivered to the receiver in a way that you can benefit from it. If it wouldn't be the system of the filters, we would not benefit from the light. This is a very brief explanation how the light of Hashem, the wisdom of Hashem, is shining above us through the top Sefira of all. We mentioned yesterday the argument between the Arizal and the Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, that the Ramak says that Keter is the first Sefira. The Ari disagrees with him, and he says no. The Ari Kadosh, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, says the Keter is not a Sefira. The Keter is a crown. It goes above the Sefirot. But nevertheless, the approach of the Ramak is the first Sefira is Keter, and then you have Keter, Chochma, and Bina. And he doesn't consider that as a Sefira. Rather, the Ari says, no, it's Chochma, Bina, and Dat are the Sefirot. Either way you're looking at it, the light has to shine on the Keter, on the crown, and from that it will start manifesting through one level to another. On Pesach, we were able to receive, whether you felt it or not, a shine from the Sefira of Bina. Now, we have 7 weeks to go one level after another level after another level to prepare our spiritual vessels to be able to receive the godly light that will shine from Or Ein Sof, from the infinite light, and that will happen on the night of Shavuot. So I have now 7 weeks to refine myself and to elevate myself to a point that I will be able to receive this godly light on the night of Shavuot. How is that to do with us physically? Is go back to what we were saying before, that we're all stuck in some type of a state of limitation. You don't have to say it out loud now. This is not an AA meeting or a NA meeting that you say, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I'm an alcoholic. And I'm not saying it chas v'shalom to make fun of anybody. I'm just saying, you don't have to now, this is not a group that you have to stand and say, I'm addicted to my phone. But you have to go home tonight and take a piece of paper, and if you want to be right with yourself, and you say, what am I limited? What is my, we'll call it now an addiction in this world? And maybe I'm addicted to my phone. Maybe I'm addicted to my Facebook account and I'm all day long on Facebook. Maybe I am addicted to coffee or cookies or whatever it is, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. And I have to understand what's my limitations, my physical limitations. Then I have another set of limitations that has nothing to do with materialistic things. And that's mainly what we're going to focus on, is that we all have midot, we all have attributes, characteristics that define who I am. We get some of them that are positive, that allows me to grow spiritually and mentally and emotionally. And the good midot can be such as that I can be very generous, I can be very forgiving, I can be very sensitive, very patient, and so forth. And on the other hand, I can have bad midot. That means that I'll have a problem with anger, and I get angry like that. Or I'm very judgmental, or I become very jealous very quickly, or I'm impatient, and so forth, and the list is long. You have to be humble enough to understand, first of all, what are my good midot, so I know how to feed it, how to bring it into the world. And I also need to recognize what are my bad midot, and that will only be able to if I'm humble. If I'm not humble, and somebody will come and tell me, sorry to tell you, you have a problem with anger. If I'm not humble, then my reaction will be like, I don't have a problem. You're the problem. You're getting me angry. No, I'm not getting you angry. You have the problem. You need to know how to deal with it. Hashem will put in front of you the right mirrors to reflect on you exactly what you are lacking. If you're smart, you don't curse the mirror. You thank the mirror for showing you, oh, this is what I need to work on. So we have different types of limitations, because if I get angry like that, that's a state of limitation. That's a Mitzrayim. And I need to work on that. It doesn't mean that my wife is getting me upset, or my coworker, or my neighbor. There's nothing wrong with them. I am the problem. They're just showing to me, this is your problem. Now start working on it. So at the time of Sefirat Ha'Omer is the time when I can go deep into the core, to the essence of my neshama, to find out what do I need to refine here. And again, it's not about mocking somebody, it's not about putting somebody down, we're not making fun of everybody. It's about me understanding that nothing's wrong with me. I'm not a product or a defected product because of something that happened in my past. This is the wrong way of looking at it. The right way of looking at it, that each and every one of us has a pure soul. The soul will be compared now for a diamond. If you ever saw a raw diamond coming out of the mine, you wouldn't give it much of a time of a day. It looks like a black rock. But go now start polishing the diamond. Now cut it very, very precise. You'll get a diamond that is worth thousands and thousands of the dollars, right? You're in the diamonds. You can teach us. So, but the same thing here. My neshama was brought down to the world dirty or unrefined. Now Hashem says, now start refining it. Now the whole point here is just to find in me the parts that need to be cleaned and refined. And Sefirat Ha'Omer is the perfect time of doing it. So now, last night we got this unbelievable power to be able to have an additional wisdom, Binah Yetera. Why? So when I'm facing a situation, I know how to digest it the right way. Something happens in my life, instead of bursting into anger, instead of becoming depressed, instead of becoming judgmental, jealous, whatever it is, I look at the situation, I have a little bit of an extra wisdom to say, you know what? He's not the problem, I am the problem. Right? So that's what the light that we got during Pesach. Now we need to know how to slowly break it into pieces to be able to refine my own vessel. Why? Because I want to go out of my own Mitzrayim. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be free, we want to be happy, we want to be successful, and needless to say that we want to reach to a state of freedom, a state of redemption. This is called the Geula Pratit, personal redemption. Once I reach to a personal redemption, I can start affecting the world around me, and then hopefully that moves a little bit faster the general redemption which we're all waiting for. So this is very, very briefly what we need to focus on throughout Sefirat Ha'Omer. Now, what we're going to do now every day, Be'ezrat Hashem, is that we're going to take the Sefira of the day and break it into something practical. Because like I mentioned yesterday, a lot of people throw these big terms and they don't even know what it means. Today is Netzach Shebayasod. Wow. Sounds very serious. What does it mean? I don't know. So to talk very high, lofty, Kabbalistic terms is worthless. Rather, you want to think practically. Tell me, what do I need to do? And don't talk to me right now with some great terms. So what we want to do is we want to focus every week and every day on one Sefira. I have a lot of classes already online. I don't want to repeat myself now about more deep and explaining more in a deeper way. What does it mean, Sefirat Ha'Omer? What does it mean to me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and so forth? But if I'm sure you noticed that the Sefirat Ha'Omer are broken into the 7 Sefirot from Chesed till Malchut. We don't work on the Sefirot of Chochmah, Bina, and Dat, which are the Mochin. This doesn't need refinement. As my Midot, they need the refinement. Every week, and this year it's organized in a very comfortable way, because Sunday is Chesed, Monday is Gvura, Tuesday is Tiferet, exactly in the order how the Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world. Usually it's mixed up. Now we had it in such a way that Pesach was Friday night, so the Sefirat Ha'Omer is aligned with the days of the week. So it will be very easy for us to remember when we're counting it. More than that, when Hashem created the world, He used the Sefirot as the tools to create the world. So we know that on day number 1 was used Sefirat HaChesed. Day number 2 was used Sefirat HaGvura, and so forth. Till Shabbat is the Malchut, and that was the 7th day. So we're going to have now very, very comfortable. 1 week will be Sefirat HaChesed, 1 week will be Gvura, Tiferet, and so forth. What we want to focus on is every day, what is the Sefira of the day, and practically saying, what do I need to do with that? That's the bottom line, and hopefully that's what we want to achieve, that when comes the night of Shavuot, then we're not only enjoying good cheesecakes, we're also receiving this godly light to be able to go one step higher, and that's our goal.